Right now, we're sitting in a villa in Sanur, Bali. A gated entrance, a pool a couple of steps away, and a quiet street. It's all very calm. And we didn't book it, and we didn't pay a deposit, and we didn't spend a week or two sitting on booking.com trying to find it. And we don't know the owners personally, and in fact, while we're here, they've gone to Vietnam, living in someone else's home. And at the same time, we've got some lovely people from Panama in our own apartment back in Melbourne, sleeping in our bed, making coffee in our kitchen. Let that sit. 3 homes, 3 countries, all occupied. And none of us are paying a single dollar in accommodation. No nightly rates, no hidden taxes. So how does that even work, you ask? It sounds complicated, I know, but it's not. We decided to go to Bali. We sent 5 messages one day, and the next day we secured 2 Bali villas. That's all we did. We sent 5 polite messages, simply asking if we could stay at their villa or not. That's it. And suddenly we're going to Bali. And suddenly, Australia, Panama, Indonesia and Vietnam are all connected. Different time zones, different travel plans, and it all came together faster than most hotel bookings we've made. And here's the surprising part. None of us are directly swapping homes. The owners here aren't coming to Australia. The people from Panama are not hosting us in Panama next month. We're not flying to Vietnam to complete some sort of loop. No triangle, no perfect calendar alignment. It's not a one-to-one trade. It's just a network. When most people hear about home exchange, they just picture it as a straight swap. You stay in ours, we stay in yours, and yes, that can happen. But most exchanges today don't rely on matching calendars. They run on a shared points system. The owners of this villa are currently using their guest points in Vietnam, and we're using our points here from Australia, and the couple from Panama are using their points in our apartment back home in Melbourne. 3 separate trips, 1 connected system. And it's all managed through home exchange. 1 platform and hundreds of thousands of homes, all operating under the same structure, and that's what makes it flexible. So what exactly are guest points? Just think of them like internal travel credits. Every home on the platform is given a nightly point value, and that value is calculated by size, location, amenities, and demand. So when someone stays in your home, you get points. And when you stay in someone else's home, you use those points. No money changes hands between the members. Just points moving within the platform. So when the couple from Panama stay with us, we earn points. And when we stay here in Bali, we use points. And the owners here are doing the same thing in Vietnam. That's why no calendars need to align. And once you understand this, the whole system clicks into place. And what made this villa happen, like I said, was 5 simple messages. No contracts, not weeks of negotiation, just 5 simple messages. We said we love your place, told them a little bit about ourselves, and asked them if the dates were available that we wanted. That's it. Then we received a message back the next day saying those dates were available. Then we just clarified the details, how many guests are going to stay over in Bali, how many points, length of stay, no surprises at all very straightforward. And then the final message we get was pre-approval from these guys over in Indonesia, and then we finalise at our end. We get details on the address, how to pick up the keys, little things like that, and some more personal contact information, and that was it. No sales pitch, no awkward haggling, no awkward conversations, just 5 messages, and now we're here. What made it work wasn't luck, it's just communication. When the couple from Panama messaged us back in October, asking to stay for a couple of weeks, they didn't just send a booking request. They introduced themselves, shared a bit of information about themselves, and shared their plans with us. Again, we just had a simple conversation. At some point, it just stops being, there's a stranger in my home. They're just normal people. That's where the trust starts, and that's what happened here. We didn't just agree on dates, we talked about their actual trip. And when someone shares their home with you, you feel the responsibility. And when you respond thoughtfully, they feel that too. Once both sides feel comfortable, it moves very quickly. No suspicion, no tension, just clarity. And honestly, I think people in their 50s do this really well. We're direct, we're practical, and we just want this to work out really well. And when it does, you realise how simple this really is. And because we're in our 50s, we approach this differently. We read profiles carefully, then we check their reviews with the past recent hosts. We think long term, we understand the value here. We're not impulsive, we're intentional. And intention builds confidence on both sides. The biggest shift wasn't just saving money, it was removing friction. Before this, the accommodation, that was the mental hurdle for us. You'd find flights, Then you see the hotel prices. Hesitation creeps in. Is it really worth it? Should we shorten the trip? When accommodation stops being the dominant cost, that friction disappears. You don't analyse every night. You don't analyse every cost of every day. You travel more freely. Instead of asking, can we afford that hotel? You ask, do we actually want to spend time there? That's a different question now. You stay longer, you settle in, you unpack properly, you buy groceries, you find your cafe, you start to recognise a couple of faces in the area, you slow down. And in your 50s, slowing down feels good. Travel stops being indulgent. It becomes integrated. And when it feels integrated, you start to do more of it without the rush. Of course, it only works because of trust. Because right now, someone from Panama is in our home and we're in someone else's, and that's personal. You see how someone lives and it changes the way you behave. You're more careful, you're more aware. And because someone's doing the same for you, it's a mutual responsibility you have. And being older helps. We understand what a home represents, the work behind it, and the trust you need just to hand that over. So this isn't just about staying somewhere beautiful. It's about honouring trust. And when both sides approach it that way, it simply works. And the biggest misunderstanding? That it's complicated and chaotic, or that it's risky, or it's just for backpackers. It's not. It's actually structured. We can see their profiles and we can see their reviews. Clear expectations, you align on dates, on standards, on care, and then there's the point system. You don't need perfect timing. You host, you earn, and you use those points when it suits you. That flexibility makes all this possible. It's not chaotic, it's very strategic, and it is definitely not risky. And if you do your homework properly, you're cutting that risk to almost zero. After over 20 exchanges in 2 years, we haven't had the slightest issue. We just keep getting surprised how honest and reliable people really are. Over the next 2 videos, we're going to show you each home. We'll show you the villa in Sanur first. We'll take you around the property and show it in great detail, show you a little bit of the neighbourhood and show you what life's like in this area. And then the second property, completely different style. It's in Seminyak. The area is more vibrant and it's a lot busier. And now, because you understand the mechanics on how this home exchange works, we'll show you the outcome. Not in theory, but in reality. 2 homes, 2 exchanges, and 1 really good system. 5 nights, our own pool, a private villa, and we're in Sanur, Bali. I want to show you this place properly, not Instagram properly, but honestly, if you're over 50 and you're starting to think about wanting to travel differently, this might actually change how you see accommodation forever. In the last video, I explained to you how we're doing 10 nights in Bali without paying for accommodation. 5 nights here in Sanur, and then we moved to Seminyak for another 5 nights. But today is about this villa and why we chose to come to Sanur first. It was our first choice. We chose Sanur very deliberately. Sanur is not loud, it's not party central, and traffic's no problem. It's not chaotic like in most parts of Bali. It's long morning walks along a beautifully flat beachfront. If you're in your 50s or 60s and you're a little bit over the noise, then this part of Bali is absolutely perfect for you. We didn't want beach clubs and midnight music. We want space, air, routine, and a place where we can just settle a bit. And that's why this villa is absolutely perfect for us. It's always exciting visiting a new place for the first time. There's something different about arriving somewhere that's not a hotel. No reception desk, no queue, no paperwork to do. With home exchange, you just walk in and it feels like immediately someone's trusted you with their home. That one thing changes your energy immediately. It's totally different. There's a fully private pool here, not shared, not partly private, it's totally yours. And depending on the season, it could be upwards of $300 per night, sometimes more. That's $1,500 for a 5-night stay. Just let that sit. That's before flights, food, all your experiences. Paying for accommodation is where most people burn through all their travel savings. One of the biggest shifts in how we travel now is having a kitchen. Not because we're interested in cooking all our own meals, but we can cook meals if we want to. Stop feeling like a tourist and it feels like you actually live here. We've been buying fruit, Michelle's made her coffees, and you unpack properly. That's slow travel and it makes 5 nights feel like 10 nights. The bedroom isn't basic, it's air conditioned, comfortable, and very quiet. When you're not 25 anymore, sleep actually matters. And comfort matters. We're not backpacking. We don't want to squeeze into tight little budget rooms. We're travelling well. We're just doing it smarter now. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. No, this isn't sponsored. No, we didn't negotiate a discount. And no, we're not house sitting. We use home exchange. We host guests in our home and we earn points. And we use those points to stay in places like this. In the first video, I explained how we do that in great detail. This villa owner isn't coming to our place, and that's the flexibility. It doesn't have to be a direct swap. We simply use our accumulated points on our own apartment back in Melbourne. And again, the accommodation cost for these 5 nights, absolutely zero. The real shift isn't the savings. It's a great feeling to know when you wake up and you're not thinking about the nightly rates you might be having to pay. It's how it feels to wake up here, without that little voice in your head calculating nightly rates. And when you're over 50, money represents time. And I don't want to spend any time worrying about accommodation costs. This system removes all that pressure. Is this for everyone? No. You've got to be comfortable in sharing your home. You have to trust the process. You have to plan ahead. But if you're open to it, the rewards are absolutely enormous. Because this lifestyle is absolutely sustainable. We're actually going away in July and August of this year to the UK, all across Ireland and England, and we've already pre-booked 6 months in advance, 50 nights free accommodation in beautiful homes and apartments all over the place. And again, this 5 nights here in Sanur, absolutely zero cost for accommodation. And this is only the first 5 nights. In the next video, we move to Seminyak, completely different energy, completely different villa. If you've ever thought that luxury travel was out in your 50s and 60s, then maybe it's just the model that you need to change. This place, this cost us nothing. And this is villa number 2. 5 more nights in Seminyak. We left Sanur this morning. 5 nights there, incredible. But this is a completely different vibe. Sanur was relaxed, local, quiet, beautiful beachfront mornings. But Seminyak is different. So much energy. Restaurants, beach clubs, sunsets, and somehow we're staying here again without paying for any accommodation. First impressions, it's definitely more modern. There's so much open living space, big glass doors, and the private pool again. And what we love about these Bali villas, the indoor-outdoor flow, you're never really inside. And let me say something important. This isn't about luxury, it's about leverage, and there's a big difference. Most people think Bali villas are for honeymooners, influencers, and people spending thousands. And for those who missed it in video 2, we use a platform called Home Exchange. You list your home, you either use guest points, or you do a straight swap at the same time. They come to yours while you go to their place. Basically, you stay in someone else's home. No nightly rate, no Airbnb fees, just a mutual exchange. That's how this villa works. In this particular case, the owners of this villa aren't staying in our property in Melbourne, in the apartment, but we're staying in theirs, so we're using guest points. It really is that simple. So here's the living area. Open lounge, ceiling fan, huge couch, and this is where the mornings start. Coffee, plan the day, and the beauty, there's space. When you travel slow, space matters. Full kitchen, fridge, stove, filtered water, everything you need. We're not eating out every meal, and that's another cost saver that people ignore. Bedrooms, we've got, there's 3 villas here, so there's 3 large bedrooms, all with air conditioning, ensuite bathrooms, the showers in here, that beautiful Bali feel. Let's talk about the pool. Now it's not massive, but it's private, morning dips, late afternoon cool downs, no sharing, no noise, it's all ours. Now here's where Seminyak changes the experience. We're minutes from the beach, and the sunsets here are next level. The vibe is definitely busier than Sanur. You got plenty to do, you got the beach, you got multiple beach clubs, and there's restaurants everywhere. It's more touristy for sure, but there's more options to do things. You can walk to dinner within minutes, and there's coffee to be had anywhere. And you can definitely feel the pulse of Bali here, no question about it. Now let me pause here because this is important. You don't need to be rich to live like this. You need a strategy. We're not flying first class, and we're not spending wildly. We're intentional. We got our flights using points, we get free accommodation with home exchange, and we cook a few meals at home. This is how it becomes sustainable. It's actually a very cheap trip, 10 nights in Bali. A lot of people would stay in one place for 10 nights, but we decided to split it. Sanur for 5 nights and Seminyak for 5 nights. 2 different moods, 2 different Balis. And because we don't pay anything for accommodation, we get to use our money on experiences instead. And that's freedom to us, real freedom. In the mornings we go for a walk for about an hour. On the way back we get coffee and breakfast. Come back and have a morning swim. Might open the laptop for a second, or we might grab a taxi and go somewhere. And this is what slow travel feels like. It's fantastic. No rushing around, no rushing everything into a couple of days. Even though it's only 10 nights, it actually feels like we're living here. And I know your greatest hesitation, it's letting strangers stay in your home. Yes, but here's what we've learned. People who use home exchange, they're not regular tourists. They're homeowners, families, couples, people who value property. There's reviews, there's verification. We message each other beforehand. We've done over 20 exchanges now, and every one of them has been nothing but respectful. And there has not been one case where we've come home and didn't find it exactly how we left it. They literally try and let you have your home better than how they got it in the first place. Because they appreciate it, respect goes both ways. Now in this video, I'm not going to break down the numbers, but I will say this. But when accommodation, the largest expense of most trips, is removed, everything shifts. You can stay longer, choose better locations, split your trip up, travel slower, stay there longer. It changes how you design the whole experience. And that's the part people miss. This isn't about free, it's about flexibility. And the bigger message is lifestyle design. And standing here tonight, I had a thought. This trip isn't about Bali, it's about choice. We have designed our life intentionally, so experiences like this are possible. We're not influencers living off brand deals. We're structured, we plan. We leverage the systems. And home exchange is one of those systems. And when you find systems that work, you get moments like this, a private villa, 10 nights in 2 private villas, and not $1 of accommodation. So why doesn't everyone do this? Most likely because it's unfamiliar. People just default to hotels or Airbnb because it's simple. And if you're prepared to get out of your comfort zone, home exchange only requires a couple of things: communication, planning, and trust. But once you've done that first exchange, it becomes totally normal. And the upside is absolutely massive. And the real win isn't the pool, the villa, or even Bali. It's the feeling of alignment. You realise you don't need to spend a lot of money to live well. You need systems, you need intention. You need to question the normal way of doing things. And once you do, opportunities open right up. Sanur showed us one side of Bali, we'd never been there before. And Seminyak shows you another. And we have been here before, and we love it. Both incredible, but completely different. And both possible because of one decision. We signed up with home exchange. And if you've watched the whole series, you've seen exactly how we do it. No hype, no exaggeration, just structure and intention. And if you're even slightly curious about using home exchange, just start by listing your home. See what's available, explore the platform. You can even sign up for free and have a look around on the platform. You don't need to commit tomorrow. Just go on there and have a look. That's how we started. And like I said before, there's no luck involved. There's no lottery money won. We've purely designed our life as we want to live it. That's the difference. 10 nights for free in Bali, all through home exchange. We still can't believe how easy it is, and it's such a pity we didn't start earlier.